Okay, shall we get started? Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GL Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Great Barrington Select Board will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for a meeting can be found on the town website. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to listen to the meeting may do so by following the instructions at the top of the agenda. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event they were unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the town's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. Pursuant to Mass General Law 7C 30A, Section 20F, after notifying the chair of the public body, any person may make a video or audio recording of an open session of a meeting of a public body or may transmit the meeting through any medium. At the beginning of the meeting, the chair shall inform other attendees of any such recordings. This meeting is being recorded by the town, by CTSB, by Berkshire Edge, and by members of the public. Any member of the public wishing to speak at the meeting must receive permission of the chair. The listing of agenda items are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may be in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. Okay, I see a hand up, so I just want to, Terry, I'm assuming Terry Chamberlain, but I'm not sure. Terry, did you have your hand up for a reason?
No, I haven't. Not. Sorry.
No problem.
Just trying to make sure I was on.
You're on. Okay, let's get started. Select Board's announcements and statements. Garfield?
Well, I have something, but maybe I'll wait to our later time when we're speaking.
That's your choice. Eric?
I'm all set.
Ed?
Nothing.
And I'm all set. Town manager's report.
Thanks, Steve. So I have several updates for tonight. First is Houstonic Waterworks. And it occurred to me at our last meeting when a citizen spoke about this, that maybe Houstonic residents aren't quite sure what we're doing and why we're doing it as it relates to the Houstonic Waterworks. So just wanted to say a few things tonight to try to clear that up. And to address the what question, what we're doing right now is we've hired 2 engineers, AECOM and DPC, to study what capital needs are necessary currently and what capital needs are necessary in the future for the Houstonic Waterworks system. We're also looking at what the operational costs may look like in the future, and we're also assessing its value based on what we find along the way during our study. The why portion is so that the board can make informed decisions when you do consider what to do next with the Houstonic Waterworks company. So should we acquire the Houstonic Waterworks? If so, should we operate it ourselves or discuss merging with another entity such as the fire district? So in a nutshell, we're doing our homework, and this will take some time. We expected this to take some time, but we're getting very close to the end now, and you can expect some presentations by our engineers as soon as or as early as our next meeting or the first meeting in July. The Community Compact Grant, I'm really happy to report tonight that our shared HR, Human Resources Director grant application was fully funded by the state for the coming year. So it's a $75,000 grant we've received, which covers or will cover the full salary and benefits of an HR director. This was identified as a high priority item by the board, and this grant will allow us to hire a professional HR director to assist not just Great Barrington, but also our neighboring communities of Monterey, Sheffield, West Stockbridge, and New Marlborough. So excellent news, and I'll continue to work with our neighbors to develop a job description and get this opening posted as soon as possible. I'd like to skip over our welcoming our new treasurer collector because Alicia was not able to attend tonight. So I'm going to table this until the meeting of the 21st. Board and committee meetings, resuming in-person meetings or a hybrid model. I was hoping to have more information for you tonight, but some of you are probably aware that the Massachusetts legislature did not come down on anything. The Senate and the House have both voted on different ways to extend pandemic-related relief provisions, but we don't have anything firm to announce for tonight. So, and since the state of emergency expires as of 12:01 this evening, and you'll be voting to lift our local state of emergency ban later this evening, technically we need to resume in-person meetings as of tomorrow. So again, it's currently being discussed by both chambers, and I hope to have more to report at the next meeting. But my recommendation for now is that we plan for an in-person meeting on the 21st or an in-person / hybrid meeting on the 21st, and let other boards and committees resume in-person meetings. If they use our select board meeting room here, they're of course welcome to use the OWL camera that we have, which is a camera that moves from person to person that might help with hybrid model meetings. But I think we need to plan for the 21st to have a quorum present of the board and proceed with a hybrid model, at least here with our select board. Steve, is this something you'd like to discuss as a board before?
Yeah, there's a couple things I want to discuss. So what I'm hoping the select board will agree to tonight, and as Mark said, it's a little more complicated because we don't know whether the current law is going to be extended, or, well, we know it's going to expire tonight, but whether they're going to extend it tomorrow. But is that as many boards as possible, I think it would be our recommendation as a select board, maybe that we continue in the hybrid format. And that means that the majority of the board members should be in person, but still have a way for the public to participate virtually. I think that's really increased the amount of public participation, and we don't want to take that away. That the sticking point, as Mark pointed out, to that is that you would have to do that in the select meeting. It's a lot of feedback. I'm not quite sure where it's coming from. Because we would have to use the OWL to do that. So we would want to get whether the law changes or not, if the law doesn't change and goes back to the old law, then we would have to have, whatever board it is, would have to have a quorum present, including the chair running the meeting. But we would still offer the hybrid option, the virtual option, so that people who get out of work at 5:30 or people who have kids can still participate, or people just don't want to come out at night, especially in the winter time, because I think we found that our number of participants has increased. Is the board okay with that?
May I add one quick thing?
Yes.
The Council on Aging, I think it was their last meeting or the one before I attended, where they did have a quorum in the room, and they just had a computer on the end of the table. It's a little clunky, but I was able to participate, as were other people. So it would probably be better in our meeting room with the OWL, but there are still other options.
Yeah, absolutely. That whatever they can come up with. That. So is the board okay with that very, very loose definition right now until we better understand the law may or may not be?
Yes.
So I don't think we need to take a vote on that. We'll let Mark guidance take us through on this. The other thing I would ask the board is that our start time has been, since the pandemic, 6 p.m. I'd like to keep it at 6 p.m., but that's a board decision. Our previous start time was 7. Is everyone okay with 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
I love it. 6 o'clock as opposed to 7.
Say that again, Garfield. I'm sorry.
I would love it at 6 as opposed to 7.
Yeah, me too, Garfield. And Eric,
Same
so
here.
we will continue at 6 o'clock as our start time, but we will, the select board, I can assure you, will have some sort of hybrid model from here going forward, as long as the law allows it, which I don't see why it won't. We just have to make sure we have 3 of the 5 of us in the room. And that shouldn't be, I don't see that as a problem either. So, Mark, are you all set with that?
Yeah, I have 2 other add-ons to my.
Yes, please go right ahead.
I guess the last thing before we move on from this topic, though, would be to just remind the select board that once the state of emergency ends, we do need 3 signatures per AP and payroll warrant going forward.
The other thing that was interesting, I read from the school committees today, Mass Associated School Committees, if it goes back to the old law and you want to participate as a board member remotely, you have to give a reason. So we may just have to remind boards of what the law will be if it goes completely back to the old law. So there is a little bit of, it's a little tricky. I don't think any reason is invalid. You have to give a reason.
Great. I have 2 other
Go right ahead.
last minute add-ons to cover. I just wanted to announce that Main Street in Housatonic will be paved next week. This is the area, speaking about the area that was impacted by the water main blowout over the winter. So I just wanted to let everyone know that that's moving forward and they should plan accordingly. And we'll get the word out through our Code Red reverse 911 platform once we have a firm date as well. I think at this point, we're looking at the 23rd. But once we have a firm date, we'll get the word out. And then I also wanted to recognize several people that stepped up to help us out recently as we prepared for Memorial Day, prepared for outdoor dining. So I'd like to just go through that list quickly. Ryan Larkin from Larkin Sign Company for getting us the flags, not only getting the flags, but installing the flags on Main Street just in time for Memorial Day. Randy Weinstein for donating the funds to pay for the updated engravings on our war memorial here outside of Town Hall. Rich Atwood for completing that work in time for Memorial Day. LB Corp and Wilkinson Construction for lending us their portable lighting for our annual town meeting, which helped brighten up that parking lot. Berkshire Fence for building the planters you see on Railroad Street and making that project a priority. The students and staff at Monument Mountain Greenhouse Program for not only designing but planting these planters for us and growing the plants. Kamali Electric for installing the lights on Railroad Street. They also made that a priority for us so that we would have the lights installed in time for outdoor dining a few weekends back. Lee Rogers for organizing all the performers on Railroad Street. And finally, a thank you to our Public Works Director and his staff for coordinating all of these special projects in addition to their regular day-to-day responsibilities. And that's all I have, Steve.
Thank you, Mark.
Can we add one? Thank you, Mark, for coordinating all of that.
Thanks.
Licenses and permits. Marie Langway for a driveway permit at 84 Christian Hill. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Do I have a second?
A second.
So I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing no discussion, it's roll call vote. Garfield.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
Ed.
Aye.
And I. It's unanimous. Terry Chamberlain, Great Barrington Firefighter Association for a temporary weekday entertainment license for the 2021 annual show on Thursday, August 5th, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Terry, I'm going to, you are, Mark, thank you. I don't do this very often, but Terry, one of the most questions I've had over the last 2 months is the car show coming back. So I'm thrilled to see that it is. Do you want to say anything about it?
No, unfortunately, it's not our 12th annual. We have to drop annual because of the pandemic last year. But we are definitely hoping, with your blessing, to have the car show again here on Thursday, August the 5th. The big change that we are doing this year is that instead of going to all the different businesses looking for trophy sponsorships, we are going to sponsor the trophies ourselves in lieu of the challenging year that all the businesses have had and make it more of just a celebration that we're getting back to as close to normal as we can.
That's terrific. We're excited to have you back.
Look
Well,
forward to
I'll
it.
say that, let us vote on it first. I'm being presumptuous. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I see a hand up, so I'm gonna, Eileen, you had your hand up?
Just wanted to say that I'm having a very difficult time hearing. There's an echo for various reasons. I don't know if anybody else has the problem.
Yeah, no, I'm having that problem too, Eileen. I'm gonna try to mute a couple people and do that. I have been trying. Thank you, Eileen.
It may be best if everyone who's not speaking mutes their mics.
So if the select board could just mute themselves. Just to see, yeah, see that'll take care of it. Thank you, Eileen. So I have a motion by Ed and a second by Garfield. So roll call vote, Garfield. Now we have to unmute ourselves, of course, and then remute ourselves, but it works.
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
and I. It's unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, Terry.
Thank you.
Now is George Lay, the Guthrie Center. We have actually three here. And George, you've been doing this a long time, so I miss seeing you in person. George Lay, the Guthrie Center for an annual weekday entertainment license at the Guthrie Center, 2 Van Duzenville Road. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Second by Garfield. I'm beginning to read lips, Garfield. We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, Garfield.
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
and I. It's unanimous. Next one is George Lay. George Lay, the Guthrie Center for an annual Sunday entertainment license at the Guthrie Center, 2 Van Duzenville Road.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Eric, a motion by Ed. Roll call vote if there's no discussion. Garfield,
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
and I. It's unanimous. Okay. If the select board could just mute themselves again, because we are getting a lot of feedback. The third is George Lay, the Guthrie Center for 6 one-day beer and wine licenses for July 16th, July 24th, July 25th, August 20th, and September 2nd and September 3rd at the Guthrie Center, 2 Van Duzenville Road. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
So a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Garfield,
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
and I. It's unanimous. George, good luck this summer.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to meeting the new selectmen. Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you.
Next is Joanna and Richard Rothbard, American Art Marketing, for a temporary weekday entertainment license for Friday, July 2nd and Saturday, July 3rd from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I know, Joanna, do you want to just say more about this since we haven't said anything?
Oh, well, it's a jazz trio we've had in the past.
Okay.
They played here before, John Myers and his troupe. And it's going to be Friday and Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, and we have another classical musician who just appeared on the scene, and he'll be playing intermittently on those days in between the John Myers trio. And that's pretty much it.
Perfect.
We're excited to be back.
We are.
We're excited to have you back.
We have 150 art. You know, when the governor said, okay, for August 1 to open up, we switched the show to August, second weekend in August. And then he opened it up Memorial Day weekend, and artists had to switch back. So it's been quite the road to getting rooms between July 4th, the cancellations, and back. But everybody's all excited. We have 150 fabulous artists coming.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
We have a motion, we have a second. Roll call vote. Garfield,
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
and I, it's unanimous. Now we have Joanna and Richard Rothbard, American Art Marketing, for a temporary Sunday entertainment license for Sunday, July 4th from 12:30 to 3:30.
Motion to approve?
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Garfield,
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
and I. It's unanimous. Next is Jackie Harvey, Butternut Basin Inc. for 3 one-day beer and wine license for July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Garfield,
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
and I. It's unanimous. Michael Wainwright for a one-day entertainment license for July 3rd, 2021 at 964 Main Street from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Motion.
Motion to approve?
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Garfield. Michael is on the line. Do you want to say anything about this?
It's my annual event, with the exception of last year, of course. So I'm hoping we get it approved. I do have a question after this. I don't know if that's appropriate.
You
But,
can ask a question before, or you can ask it now.
Okay, it's not related to this though, but kind of.
Well, if it's kind of, I'll accept it.
Okay, so I have a billboard in town. I'm going to get another billboard in town. And before I go with the slogan, I just wanted to make sure it's okay what I say up there, which is going to be, there's a new pot dealer in town. And
I
then
always
there'll
like your sense of humor, Michael.
and then there'll be pictures of my ceramics. So, again, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. So I thought I would ask since I was in front of you guys anyway.
Anyone having a problem with that?
No.
Well, sense of humor is pretty good, if you ask me.
Okay.
So we have a motion and we have a second. Roll call vote. Garfield,
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
and I. It's unanimous. Good luck, Michael.
Thank you very much.
I don't want to get too excited, but you know what? Great Barrington is awakening, and it's exciting to see it. Next are public hearings. Jeff Caminiti, 20 Public House for change of manager.
Motion to open the public hearing?
A second, please.
I'll second that.
It's a roll call vote. Garfield,
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
and I. It's unanimous. Is there someone here from 20 Public House? Raise your hand if there is. Not seeing anyone. I realize this is a simple request, but we should still have the applicant here to, if we have any questions. So it's probably not going to go over well with some people, but do I have a motion to table until, that's only 1 week, I believe it's, yeah, it's only till June 21st. Do I have a motion to table till June 21st?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion. Seeing none. Garfield,
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
and I. Mark, can we make sure the applicant knows it's been moved and they can be here?
Will do. We'll reach out tomorrow.
Okay, new business. We're going to move the Housatonic Improvement Committee update till next meeting. And that'll be on the agenda for next meeting. Next is to approve the sale of bond anticipation notes. So bear with me here. And before I start that, we had at the beginning of the meeting, before I forget, 5 panelists and 19 attendees. Our ratings have dropped to 5 and 12 now, but that was the highest. So here we go. I, the chair of the Select Board of the Town of Great Barrington, Massachusetts, certify that at a meeting of the board held June 14th, 2021, of which all members of the board were duly notified and at which a quorum was present, the following votes were unanimously passed, all of which appear upon the official record of the board. Voted to approve the sale of $3,184,550, 2% general obligation bond anticipation notes, the notes of the town dated June 22nd, 2021, and payable November 18th, 2021 to Piper Sandler and Company at par and accrued interest, if any, plus a premium of $22,387.39. Further voted that in connection with the marketing and sale of the notes, the preparation and distribution of a notice of sale and preliminary official statement dated June 2nd, 2021, and a final official statement dated June 9th, 2021, each in such form as may be approved by the town treasurer, be and hereby are ratified, confirmed, approved, and adopted. Further voted that the town treasurer and the select board be and hereby are authorized to execute and deliver a significant events disclosure undertaking in compliance with SEC Rule 15C2-12 in such form as may be approved by bond counsel to the town, while undertaking shall be incorporated by reference in the notes for the benefit of the holders of the notes from time to time. Further voted that we authorize and direct the town treasurer to establish post-issuance federal tax compliance procedures and continuing disclosure procedures in such forms as the town treasurer and bond counsel deem sufficient, or if such procedures are currently in place, to review and update said procedures in order to monitor and maintain the tax exempt status of the notes and to comply with relevant securities laws. Further voted that each member of the select board, the town clerk, and the town treasurer be and hereby are authorized to take any and all such actions and execute and deliver such certificates, recipients, or other documents as may be determined by them or any of them to be necessary or convenient to carry into effect the provisions of the foregoing votes. I further certify that the votes were taken at a meeting open to the public, that no vote was taken by a secret ballot, that a notice stating the place, date, time, and agenda for the meeting, which agenda included the adoption of the above votes, was filed with the town clerk, and a copy thereof posted in a manner conspicuously visible to the public at all hours in and or on the municipal building that the office of the town clerk is located, or if applicable, in accordance with an alternative method of notice prescribed or approved by the Attorney General as set forth as 940 CMR 2903 2B, at least 48 hours, not including Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays prior to the time of the meeting, and remain so posted at the time of the meeting, that no deliberations or decision in connection with the sale of the notes were taken in executive session, all in accordance with GL 30, Chapter 30A, Sections 18 through 25, as amended, further amended, suspended, supplemented, or modified by the executive order of the Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, dated March 12, 2020.
Could you read that again?
Thank you, Ed.
The motion to approve the note sale as just read by the chair.
Do I have a second?
Second.
If anyone has any questions, I will not be the one to answer, but I know Sue is on the line, and if anyone in the audience or anybody has any questions from the board, raise your hand. And seeing none, seeing none, roll call vote. Garfield.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
Ed.
Aye.
And aye, it is unanimous. Next is to lift the state of emergency declaration for March 23rd, 2020.
I move that the board vote to end the state of emergency declared on March 23rd, 2020 relating to COVID-19, effective at 12:01 a.m. on June 15th, 2021. The time at which the state of emergency declared by the governor on March 10th, 2020 will end as set forth in the governor's order of May 28th, 2021, COVID-19 order number 69.
Do I have a second?
Resounding second.
Remind the board members what Mark's already reminded us. For the last year, warrants are signed by the chair under this emergency order. We now have to have at least 3 board members sign the warrants. Mark, for 2 new members, Mark will send out an email or someone from his office asking you to come in and sign warrants. And if you can do that within a day or 2, that would be really helpful. If it's urgent, the email will tell you to come in sooner. So I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Garfield.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
Ed.
Aye.
And aye, it's unanimous. I almost feel like the order going into emergency and the order coming out of it should be sent to the Great Barrington Historical Society, because I don't know that this happens very often. And I'm glad that it's much more enjoyable to be coming out of it than it was going into it. So I'm glad we're almost at the end. We're not quite there.
May I say something quickly,
You may.
Steve, on
Of
this?
course.
But just that, I don't know that a lot of people know, but Mark convened an emergency group involving, the police, fire, schools, hospital, ambulance, the emergency, extra emergency beds that were set up. It's just, this group was meeting frequently in the beginning, weekly later on. And they were really on top of it. I got to be a fly on the wall and occasionally get publicity out for it. So I just want to acknowledge it and thank Mark for pulling that together. This was not in your how to be a town manager training, I assume. So the entire town staff, everything the town has had to do, they had to do differently. And the pivoting was amazing. So thank you. And I just think people should know that was being done.
Yeah, it's a good point. There is no manual, at least for the town of Great Barrington, for doing this. So it was done one day at a time. And I know the town staff did an excellent job. It wasn't always easy.
Thank you all, and thank you for your support over the last year and a half as well. It certainly helped.
Citizen speak time. Seeing no one, I'll go to select board time. Garfield?
Yes, I have several things. And one thing I'll say right away, I guess, is you may hear from me a lot from people's concerns. That was part of my platform. That's how I am. That's how I'd like to be. And I think you need to listen to everyone. That's all of our jobs. So I have some concerns that people voiced to me that I wanted to bring forward. And one of the problems is I had a Housatonic citizen. They complained about the lack of flower boxes and the lawn at the Ramsdale Library not being mowed, and the baskets on the bridge at the school park. It seems like, from what I'm understanding and what they're saying, is that feeling like this hasn't happened in Housatonic, but it's happened in Great Barrington. They'd like to see it happen in Housatonic as well.
So Garfield, if you don't mind, I will answer to the best of my ability each of your concerns. Some of them I won't be able to, but I can answer those two. The boxes that were on the bridge previously were not town. It was done by Housatonic the Beautiful. The town may have participated in a slight way. We have not participated in doing that. And that would be a project. I'm not sure we have permission to do it. I don't know who owns the bridge. Something tells me it's not ours, but it's a state bridge. So that's something we would have to look into. I'm not saying we couldn't do it, but that previously when it was done by a private group.
I understand it was funded for Great Barrington. Is there a reason why it was not funded for?
What was funded for Great Barrington, Garfield?
Well, from what I understand, they had, and I don't know for sure as I'm listening to the constituents telling me that there was some funding for the baskets, et cetera.
On Railroad Street, we have funded that through a grant, and we can look, it won't happen this year, but we can look into the bridge in Housatonic and see what it would take and what permissions we need. Yeah, absolutely. The other part of that is there were a number of projects, both mowing projects in both Great Barrington and Housatonic. It wasn't just the Ramsdale, it was some of the cemeteries in Great Barrington that were not done in the last week. They fell behind, and that's because there's two reasons for that mainly. One is that we did divert staff onto Railroad Street in Great Barrington to get the flower boxes built and to get the flowers delivered from the school down here. So that was number one. Number two, and it's a problem we have every year, we don't allow vacation times all vacation times to be carried over. So many times in June, people are scrambling to use their unused vacation time. They can only carry over 5, Mark, am I correct?
That's correct. 5 vacation days. only.
So we do have always, at this time of year, we have a lot of staff taking vacation, and therefore we fall behind in the mowing. I did see some people who were concerned it was only Ramsdale, it was only Housatonic. I can assure you that in my neighborhood, there's a cemetery that is fairly long and needs to be mowed, and they will get to it this week. But it's a good observation. They were right.
Okay, so they will be done this week is what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay. I did have one other thing that was asked of me. I was concerned about the tar sidewalks in Housatonic and why they're not cement. They're cooler to the touch for people's feet, et cetera, and animals. Tar is pretty hot to walk on.
So that is a good one, and we could have Sean talk about that at another meeting. I will say this, the one thing that was a little bit off was there are tar sidewalks in Great Barrington, so it's not just Housatonic, but those are new sidewalks, and we can have Sean at the next meeting explain why tar was going to be used.
Okay. And I have to say this because I think we're all intelligent enough and we can figure this out. And I understand people wanting to go on vacation, and that's fine. But I think that's not a really great excuse for not having the work done, because someone went on vacation, there's always someone to back something up. And almost every job that everyone has, whether you're at the grocery store or not. So I think we need to do something about that.
So Garfield, I would ask you to talk to Sean, because
Sure.
I know for a fact the DPW doesn't have people just sitting around waiting to take other people's places. We have so many parks and so many cemeteries in town that that there aren't a lot of backup. So
Okay, that's for me to know.
Yeah, but I would ask you to talk to Sean, because how I know that is being many years in the Parks Department and Cemetery, and when we've been short of help, it's been brutal. And we're not short of help right now, but anything else, Garfield?
No, not at all.
Garfield, those are all great issues.
Excuse me, I do have one other thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Now that Bill is not, I saw, I ran into, gosh, the name already escapes my mind, but the young gentleman who does the transportation.
Yes, Tate Coleman.
Right, Tate. And Bill is gone, so we need someone from the Selectboard to take his place on that committee. I'm really booked. I don't think I could do that.
Didn't we do that at the last meeting, Mark? We'll look into it, Garfield. I know I thought we took care of all of those at the last meeting, but my memory, like yours, escapes me.
Yeah,
We did.
Some of them were covered as annual appointments at our last meeting, and we do have some that trickle in throughout the year. So we'll present them as we receive them.
But I think the ones that are representative of the select board, if he was truly representing the select board, Kate and Bill's places, I thought we filled last meeting, or meeting before, but we'll figure that out, Garfield. That's a good point.
Tate's pretty sharp.
He's sharper than I am, so yes, I'm not doubting Tate.
That is correct, and I don't believe that the VRTA position needs to be held by a select board member, which is why it didn't appear on the last agenda.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, Garfield. Those are all great questions. Eric.
I'm all set, thanks.
Ed.
You may want to also send to the Historical Society a record of, there's probably a record short meeting today.
You're right.
One other quick thing, because Garfield, you are new. When we all get comments like those all the time, and you don't need to wait for a meeting, just send a quick email to Mark or Sean, and they can deal with them right away.
Thank you.
Garfield, you had something else?
No, but I thought maybe if we were going to put something in a time capsule, let's throw in a mask in there and bury it too.
There you go.
Historical Society.
You're absolutely right. Media time. I see no one from the media raising their hand. So by unanimous consent, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.